And now we're going to have a children's moment. This is our kids' lesson, but it's also our children's offering time. It's the time during our worship when our kids get to participate in this act of worship, the act of giving. So at home, don't forget to set aside your offerings in your children's offering jar or container. Now, our lesson this week will finish up all of the lessons that we've been doing on Advent. So this is the Sunday before Christmas. I know that it's exciting when you're waiting for something special, like Christmas. Well, that Advent season reminds us of that feeling of excitement when you're waiting for something special. We are excited because Jesus was born, Jesus died for us, but also that God is going to return again. So that's exciting, waiting for something special. We read about the night that Jesus was born in a stable, and we read about the shepherds who heard about Jesus, and they saw a special, what was it? A special star in the sky that showed them where Jesus was born. Well, we're going to finish up our lessons with this special star again. Let's read from the Jesus Storybook Bible published by Zondervan Kids, the King of All Kings. Far away in the east, 3 clever men saw that very same star, the star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for this star. They knew it would come. "He's here," they shouted. "He's here." And I'm sure if you'd been there, you would have heard them laughing and dancing and singing until the sun came up. At dawn, they packed up their camels and wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Special, sparkly, lovely smelling, gleaming things, just right for a king. The 3 wise men, actually, if you'd met them, you would have thought they were kings because they were so rich and clever and important looking, set off. They rode their camels across endless deserts, up steep, steep mountains, down into deep, deep valleys, through raging rivers, over grassy plains, night and day and night, for hours that turned into days, that turned into weeks, that turned into months and months, until at last they reached Jerusalem. Jerusalem was by far the most important city for miles around, and as anyone can tell you, that's where a palace would be, and kings are born in palaces. So that's where they went. But they were in for a surprise. They went to see King Herod. Surely he'd know where this baby was, but he didn't. In fact, he didn't like the sound of a new king. It made him cross. He didn't want anyone to be king except him. But Herod's advisors told the 3 wise men what was written in their books, what God had said about the baby king. Go to Bethlehem. That's where you'll find him. Suddenly, the star they had seen in the east started moving again, showing them the way. So the 3 wise men followed the star out of the big city, along the road, into the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star through the streets of Bethlehem, out of the nice part of town, through the not so nice part of town, into the really not nice at all part of town, down a little dirt track until it stopped right over a little house. But wait, it wasn't a palace, and there weren't any guards or servants or flags or red carpets or trumpets or anything. Did they get it wrong? Or was this what God had meant? Sure enough, in that little house there, sitting on his mother's knee, they found him, the baby king. The 3 men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming golden crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground and gave their sparkly treasures. The journey that had begun so many centuries before had led 3 wise men here, to a little town, to a little house, to a little child. To the king God had promised David all those years ago. But this king was a new kind of king. Though he was the Prince of Heaven, he had become poor. Though he was the mighty God, he had become helpless baby. This king hadn't come to be boss. He had come to be a servant. So this week, as we celebrate Christmas, let's remember that we have already been given the best gift of all. Jesus came as a baby, and Jesus later died for us so that we could be with God forever. And that is the best gift of all. Merry Christmas and have a great week. I'll see you again soon.